our missions are definitely aligned, and I've reaped the benefits of y'all being around for 10 years and seeing how y'all have made a mark on Memphis, and really bringing a lot of the community together to shows, and that's what we're trying to do for the city as well, around our legacy artists and our new artists, and be the scaffolding for arts and culture throughout the city.
Welcome to the Shellcast, a show about music, culture, and Memphis.
As we live into our mission of building community through music,
education,
and diversity,
we look forward to interviewing artists and musicians and hearing about how they are writing their own stories,
building their own communities.
85 years strong, and with a rich history, the Levitt Shell has stood the test of time as a beacon of hope in the heart of Memphis. I can actually do that one more time.
This podcast is brought to you by Orion Federal Credit Union, where a big part of us is being a big part of the community. Visit orionfcu.com to see how Orion is redefining banking. Hi, and welcome to Shellcast, episode 13. Today we're talking to Robby Grant. It's fair to say Robby does not like to sit around and do nothing. He's a founding member of the beloved band Big Ass Truck. He's released several solo albums, one of them recently, and he's also a DJ and the Executive Director of radio station WYXR. We touched on all of that and more. He's an interesting guy to talk to, so let's join Robby Grant on Shellcast. Robby, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Silver. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. We'll start with, let's talk about Big Ass Truck a little bit. You're going to take our stage on Saturday, September the 11th. You excited?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're really, really excited. I love the show.
I think it was 2019 the last time you guys played, and we got to stream that concert with all the shutdown stuff. What a phenomenal show you guys put on last time.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, the show means a lot to us. We've been played there before it became the Levitt Shell, before they redid the whole thing when they had the benches and everything back in the
Right.
90s. So kind of when it was on its on its way down before it came way back up with you guys.
Right.
So just being able to come there and just really experience, because I've been going there on my own, experiencing it just with my family and friends. And so being able to play and then having a really incredible show, and it was just really exciting.
That's awesome. I can't imagine that when Big Ass Truck was being formed, you guys sat around and said, let's do a funky rock and roll, soulful hip hop DJ kind of thing. How did all that come together? You have such a unique sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess it's a convergence of the personalities. I mean, we definitely, growing up, had played all kinds of different, rock music for the most part. But when we started we started to get together, and actually Steve and I were talking a lot, and like, let's do something a little bit different. And we were,
Right.
starting to get into, some of the older soul music from Memphis, some of the, the Meters and that kind of thing. And so when we got together, we just pulled some folks that we knew that were really good players, and we had been talking a lot with, Colin, who's our DJ, and obviously really into the BC Boys and hip hop, and brought him in, and just kind of. We practiced a lot, we didn't know what we were going to sound like. We didn't, it wasn't like a formula we were trying to adhere to. And I think that's what has made it so special over the years, is just constantly experimenting with the sound and having fun with it, or at least until we stopped playing. And now we've got a good group of songs and shows,
Sure.
stuff that we can pull out now. So.
Man, that's and you can tell when you guys are on stage how much you're enjoying yourselves up there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't play that much together anymore, so it's not just playing for everybody out there, but for ourselves, getting to hang out and just go kind of crazy on stage together. So it's fun.
Well, I mean, you're such a beloved band in Memphis, so it's a real party when we get to see you every once in a while too. So.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I can't wait.
So, I mean, how did the creative process with the Big Ass Truck material evolve? I mean, did you write the songs first and then start putting the parts in, or did you have a specific sound in mind?
No, I mean, we didn't tour a lot early on. We played a lot of local shows, but we made sure we were practicing 2 times a week. So we had a pretty rigid schedule. And honestly, we were just kind of jamming, recording ourselves, listening to licks and putting songs together from ideas. It wasn't really until later, the last, second to last album, Who Let You In Here, we, I had a lot of 4-track ideas and Steve did. And so we mixed that, more traditional songwriting. But honestly, our last record, The Rug, is totally, we didn't even know what it was going to be. We booked studio time. We wrote the entire thing in the studio. So,
Wow.
for us, it's always been a collaboration amongst ourselves. So, and just trying to figure out what sounds right and what's fun. Yeah.
Having studio time booked and really, really going in there pretty much devoid of material. Was it scary?
I think we believed in ourselves enough to know that, we could get something interesting out of it. And it's a little daunting for sure, but we,
Wow.
that's we like to keep it fresh. Back then we like to keep it fresh, and
Sure.
that was the way to do it for sure.
Sure. Well, it helps that you're working with such phenomenal musicians in the band too. So
Oh yeah,
pretty much
totally.
an all-star. So, well, moving a little bit more towards the present, you recently released another solo album called Such a Thing as Soul.
Yeah, I do a lot of recording on my, been doing a lot of home recording, really since Big Ass Truck and onward, getting interested
Mhm.
in 4-track recording, et cetera. So I've been, these are songs I've had for probably, over 5 or 6 years. And as, we were in the pandemic and I was trying to figure out what to do with those songs. And, I'm real proud of that record, but, but I do wear a lot of musical and other hats, and just trying to figure out when's the best time to put out a record and really promote it and do it. And I just never saw when that was going to happen. So I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and release it and just put the songs out there. And it's been fun. I'm really, really proud of those songs. So.
I can fully understand. I was listening to it earlier today and really enjoying it. Incredibly different sound from Big Ass Truck, though. Really much more of a pop feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, the pop sensibilities are there for sure. And,
Uh-huh.
I'm playing pretty much all the instruments on it. So it's kind of, a reflection of more of me. Whereas the band is, the Big Ass Truck band is a reflection of all of us as we come together. So I would hope would sound a bit different. So
Well, very much so. I mean, that's
yeah.
one of those things you can listen to that record and afterward saying to somebody, by the way, he's a founding member of Big Ass Truck. They might look at you and go, say what?
Yeah. Well, I like to keep people guessing.
But I think it's absolutely wonderful that you can be so proficient in so many different styles. So that's got to be incredibly rewarding.
Oh, it is. I like to, I want to keep it interesting for myself for sure. That's the kind of the first part of it. I mean, I don't make a living, playing music. So since I don't, I might as well, just do what, follow my muse. And then if people are into it, cool. And if not, they can wait a while and maybe they'll be into the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. But that is phenomenal. And I think that's true in so many things of life. If you're not making yourself happy, especially in an artistic pursuit, how can you hope to make
Hmm.
somebody else happy, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point. A real good point.
Did you have at some point, I mean, between doing music and, singing, playing, writing, being on the radio, what was the aha moment when it's like, music's going to be my life? This is what I'm going to do?
Well, I mean, the running the radio station, I took that job back in May of last year. But
Right.
before that, I was, working doing technology for the last 15 years. So,
Okay.
I've been playing music my entire life, and I would, say that the 15 years, 20 years of doing technology, while I totally enjoy that, it's also to be able to do the music that I want to do. So, I mean, really, the aha moment was probably the first time I would say probably the first time I got a 4-track, was able, actually recording,
Gotcha.
making songs and, complete songs or at least snippets of songs with multiple tracks, getting to play a little bit of drums and guitar and sing and putting that stuff together. So that's when I was like, I gotta keep doing this. So.
Modern technology, I think, has really opened the door for an awful lot of people to put out music that we might not have a chance to appreciate otherwise, I think.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, the 4-track days were great, and you'd have to kind of abstract it out in your head because still the sound quality, to me, I love that. I love that aesthetic and I love that sound. But a lot of people didn't back then. And but fast forward to now, yeah. I mean, you could, I could hang up with you and record something that could be played on the radio tomorrow. Actually, I could play it on the radio. I don't do that, but I could.
Well, that's a fantastic segue into the radio. You're the Executive Director of WYXR here in Memphis.
Yeah.
You guys are a perfect partner for the Shell, I've got to say. Our mission statement concerns bringing the community together through music. What a perfect thing for Memphis. Sounds exactly like what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think, our missions are definitely aligned, and, I've reaped the benefits of y'all being around for 10 years and seeing how y'all have, made a mark on Memphis and really, bringing a lot of the community together to shows, and that's what we're trying to do for the city as well, around our legacy artists and our new artists, and be the scaffolding for arts and culture throughout the city.
That's nice. I love that quote. How did your association? You said you did tech work for 15 years or so. How did your association with WYXR come to be?
Well, I mean, I've had I was actually working with some people that were interested in radio, and so we started talking, and talked about a few options of how community radio and nonprofit radio was working in Memphis, and over a couple of years, just exploring a few options, and then the University of Memphis was looking to do something different with their radio station back in 2018. And so just in, the people at Crosstown, the people at Daily Memphian who are part of this Crosstown Radio Partnership, knowing me, and I played music here, am I interested in radio, reached out to me, and we're like, you want to help facilitate this, what could happen with this, what University of Memphis wants to do with their station. And so, that was just kind of how it came to be. And for me, the job, it became a job about a year and a half ago, when we were trying to find an executive director, and it just happened that, we could make it work where I could come on. And it's really a mix of all of the things I love. I mean, I love technology and I love music. I love Memphis. So being able to bring all that stuff together was, just, something I was really excited about.
I'm going to say you're in the perfect place at the perfect time, actually.
I would agree. I'm lucky. I'm a patient person. I can, I kind of play the long game with a lot of my projects and stuff.
Right.
So, it's like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And, if I'm just happy. I was honestly happy to be involved in kind of in any capacity. I mean, truthfully, really in any capacity. And then just the fact that I was able to, and they wanted me to, they saw my passion for it, and they wanted me to be involved and take the lead, and then just, having a great partner with our program manager, Jared Boyd, the two of us together, just being able to just, bring this to Memphis and hopefully make it something that's here for long after either of us are here.
Want to learn more about how you can support the Levitt Shell and its mission of building community through music, education, and diversity? Head to levittshell.org. You can read up on our 85-year history and check out our schedule of live and virtual events. Visit our Shell shop to grab all the swag and find out ways you can participate in our mission, whether that's through donations, volunteering, sponsoring a show, or becoming a member of our Shell Circle. Once again, that's levittshell.org.
I think the passion aspect is a really, really important thing. There are people out there that say radio is a dying medium. Is that frustrating to you?
I mean, not really. I mean, I think of us, more than just a radio station. I mean, a media company might be a little bit of an overstatement, but we're available on the FM dial, but we've got a podcast network. I mean, you guys are part of that, along with a lot of our talk programming. We've got all of our shows that are archived. So, people, it's all about on-demand listening now. So on our website, we've got any show that you want to hear, you can archive it. All the shows are archived. And then we've actually got an even deeper archive that people can reach out and listen at any time.
I wonder how much the pandemic actually helped the presence of radio. People needed something to do. People needed something to occupy their time. Do you think that might have, in a weird way, been an odd sort of blessing?
I mean, I think in a way, people were looking for ways to, get together and have togetherness without physically being together. I think that helped. For us as a station, I've been telling people, the pandemic was a blessing for us where we could just focus on the radio station, and we didn't have to focus on other events and things that would normally, in normal times come along with opening up a new radio station. I mean, we're just now starting to have actual events. So we could kind of get the core thing that we're doing, which is, this radio station correct, and then, or at least get it on a good track, and then worry about events and all the other stuff and the other just not distractions. I mean, quite frankly, things we have to do and want to do, but just not having to do them all at the same time was helpful.
That does work out well.
Yeah.
Are you pleased with the progress so far?
I think so. I mean, we've been getting a lot of great feedback. I mean, when we launched, I was a little scared. We had 60 or 70 volunteer DJs that,
right.
I would say half of them had been DJs before, some of them hadn't. So launching I just assumed that we would have some attrition, have, 20 or 30% of our DJs, not be there a month later just because for whatever reason. But, that to me, that was the biggest success, that we had all of our DJs stay on for, the first few months with no issues. And we've had a couple drop off, but just for a small reason. So, and we've added more than we've lost. So we've got actually 90 plus volunteer DJs now. So in terms of, being representative of Memphis, I think we're getting really close. I mean, there's always work to do, but, I got to, hats off to Jared, our program manager, who's, really done a great job of pulling in a lot of people from around Memphis and kind of programming certain blocks together, programming blocks together that work together, but also are kind of interesting together. Like, they may not seem like on paper like they work, but they do, just bumping up next to each other.
I would think being in the Memphis community, that's kind of a blessing in disguise also, in that we have so many influences around here to draw from, that it would open itself up to you guys being very diverse.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's so much of the Memphis music, landscape that I didn't know. JB's been teaching me a lot about stuff, and and really vice versa. I mean, there's some areas of it that he didn't know, but the two of us we're teaching each other. We're getting to meet all kinds of people that come in and are teaching us and telling us about pockets of Memphis music that we didn't know about. So that's been pretty incredible.
The coolest thing about music is you can never hear or know all of it. I think that's absolutely.
No, that's true. That's totally true. And that's why I think this radio station works with that many DJs is, I want to hear what, the next, person's going to play on their station, on their show, and turn me on or send me on and on a tangent that I've never even thought to be on before, musically. So
I really feel, just as having been in the radio a long time ago, and now being with the Shell and being a listener, I think that's the greatest gift that you can give me, either as a band or involved with the radio station. New music. Give me something I haven't heard before. Give me something to get excited about.
Yeah, we push you a little bit. I mean, that's actually a good nexus of both the music I like to make and with the radio station, just pushing the listener, a little bit, where they can relate, but also are, new synapses are firing, and they're, discovering some new stuff that's out there.
And again, we have such a rich history in the city, so being able to expose people to some of that, as well as some of the current things that are going on, that has to be very gratifying.
Yeah, and with the station itself, as most know, is not just Memphis music. I mean, the DJs that are on are curating from their libraries, and definitely starts from a Memphis point, but can end up in all parts of the world. But we do have anywhere from 6 to 10 hours of what we call automation, but it is programmed by JB, and it's loaded with only Memphis music. So if you tune in at 2 or 3 in the morning, that's you might hear some deep track you've never heard of, or you might hear a new artist. So we do focus on Memphis music on those off hours where we don't have volunteer programmers yet. I mean, the goal would be in a couple of years to be 24/7, but that's that's tough. That's tough. We're getting there though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
What are some of the other future goals of the station?
I mean, we've got this new HQ that we're opening. Because of the pandemic, we didn't have any office space. We initially were going to have some, but we kind of put that on hold. And so over the last few months, we've been working on this. We're calling it our headquarters, WYXR HQ, and it's in Crosstown Concourse. It's kind of close to the Mempops in the retail corridor. So we'll have a small retail footprint. We'll have some T-shirts and hats and some records and stuff like that. We'll also have a small event space back in the back where we can have DJs DJ. We can have people in and learn more about the station. But also, we want to get out in the community. I mean, we're not just a crosstown radio station. We're a Memphis radio station. So, meeting the community where they are. The Shell's a good example of that. But finding even more spots to get out there and tell people about the station and get them involved.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
Getting back more to Robby, you do so many things. You can do so many things well musically. I ask this of a lot of musicians I admire, but I'm really interested to hear your answer. Who are some of your musical heroes?
Who are my musical heroes? Well, I keep it kind of crazy. I mean, I love
good.
Grew up listening. I mean, now that I'll probably give you the least crazy answer, but I started early with REM and kind of the jangle pop type stuff, but really getting into a lot of the Memphis artists, the Stack stuff, super into. Loved Prince growing up. He was an inspiration in terms of, okay, you can just create you can record yourself. Mention the Meters and Booker T and the MGs. Love them. I don't know. That's a hard one. There's a ton of them. That's just scratching the surface. That's just scratching the surface.
I never promised I was going to make it easy on you.
Yeah, no.
What are you hearing recently that you like a lot?
I love that new, locally, the band Ibex Clone, I've been pushing a lot. Really like them. Great guitar playing. I just was checking out, there's an artist out of San Francisco named May Powell that I've been digging. And Clario, I think is how you say her name. Her new record's really, really great. So, I'm keeping my ears open. We're always getting a ton of great new local music too through the station. So, it's so much to keep up with, but it's so great. So
that was, to me, the most exciting thing when I worked in radio, was coming in every day and it's like, oh, look, there's 10 new albums I get to listen to.
I know. And actually, I like it when people drop off albums, because now it's so easy to send new music. So we get so much, you can't even, it was hard to go through it before with CDs and vinyl, and now with digital, it's just really, really difficult. So we try to, we have a submissions email address that we use, and we tell local folks to, submit their music to submissions@wyxr.org. And we have about 15 DJs on that list. So if I don't listen to it or hear it, or JB doesn't, then, there's a bunch of about 15 or 20 others that are on that list. And so it does help to also mention that you're from Memphis and, don't write too much, but write a little bit. So sometimes I'll dive into that, and there's always something, interesting. It takes a little bit of work, but there's always something interesting or new in there that I haven't heard.
I think that's really important. So I don't mind repeating that. Really important to the artists out there. You're going to get heard if you submit something to the radio station. Someone's going to give you a listen. Tell me again what the address is.
Sure. It's submissions, that's plural, submissions at wyxr.org.
Fantastic. I'm not trying to get you in hot water with anybody, but I got to know, what's more fun, being on the radio or being on stage?
I would say, being on the radio at this point. I love being on stage, and I love, writing and recording music. And, if you'd asked me 20 years ago, I would probably not even consider, it would definitely be on stage. But honestly, I love writing and recording almost more than performing. But radio's been super fun though. I'm doing my radio show right now with one of my high school friends, Winston. So, we would see each other occasionally, but now we're seeing each other once a week, and we're playing off each other. And, he's turning me on to new stuff and vice versa, and just get to crack wise on the air. And so that's pretty fun.
That is a lot of fun.
It's pretty fun.
Robby, you've done so much with music so far. What are some things that you would like to accomplish in the future that you haven't had a chance to do yet?
Well, I've been, we did the Mellotron Variations project back in 2018,
right,
and put out a couple records with that. I'm kind of, we had some other plans to take that, a little bit further out on the road, and that got squashed with COVID. So I'd love to try to do a little bit more with that, not a full-time thing, but play, a few more shows with that. With this last solo record I put out, I've kind of exhausted all of my solo stuff. So write and record, write some new songs. I've got another band called Mouse Rocket that we just, we've been playing for 20 or 25 years together. We don't play out a lot, but and we don't record a lot, but we've been playing so long. We have so much fun together. So maybe do something there. And we're doing some one-offs, big ass truck stuff here and there. I don't know if that'll ever turn into something more, but we'll see.
Man, as long as you're keeping it fun, that's all that really counts.
Yeah, exactly. I got to keep it fun. So that's a good point.
Robby, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. You guys have been such a terrific friend of the show. You've been such a terrific friend of the show. Cannot wait to see you on stage again.
All right. Well, we look forward to being there. And thanks to everybody and to you, especially Silver, and for not this, but whenever we've been there, you've been the biggest help to kind of help WYXR get set up and seen and let people know about us. So I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, cool. All right. I'll talk to you later, Silver. See ya.
Robby, thanks so much for spending time with us today. If you go to robbygrant.com, that'll take you right to his Bandcamp page where you can listen to and purchase his solo recordings. WYXR.org will keep you up to date with all the happenings at the radio station. We'd love it if you visit us at levittshell.org, find out everything that's going on at the Shell, and stop by the virtual bucket. Every dollar that you donate goes back onto the stage and music in one form or another. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time on Shellcast.